brought back as our ace player in this game. Spawning in the top right position as the blue Zerg. Coming in for Karont3 Esports Club, it is Vortix. And spawning in the bottom left position, it's been on a little bit of a tear here, former monster. It is MVP's Nathanias. I just love saying that name, so good. Teal Zerg. Well, you know, the players have slightly changed, or at least half the players have changed, but maybe like grew half a wing or something. But the game remains the same. It is ZvZ. This is a much smaller map, so it's possible that we could see some form of early aggression. However, we've already got overlords on the way for both players, so it's obviously not anything, you know, 8, 9, 10 pool. We've got drones. In terms of what we could see out of either of these guys, though, Vortix plays a much more traditional style of ZvZ. If you guys have tuned in to the Acer TeamStory Cup, looks like Vortix needs a little quick pause. Maybe he has the same hotkey issue he had earlier. Hopefully, everything is well. I mean, he could actually be sharing his computer, by the way, guys, with Lucifron. They are brothers. I don't actually know if they live together at the moment, but as far as I'm aware, they're both just about full-time esports. So, you know, I mean, it's like, okay, well, I mean, if you're playing a team, you might as well share computers. So, the game is resumed. So, looks like everything is set for Vortix now. Says I don't want those darn Terran hotkeys. And I feel like Nathanias is gonna possibly go for that conservative play again. Now, keeping in mind that Vortix obviously could have just been tuning into that game, so he may know what Nathanias will be doing, or at least have been told his kind of style. We could see Vortix try to press the aggression. Nathanias went for a rather economic build. He went for the fast Mutalisks, which is the gold standard right now in ZvZ. The 15 hatch, not uncommon. Another 15 hatch from Vortix. And, you know, if you go 15 pool versus 15 hatch, you can't really punish a 15 hatch. So, if you don't know or you really, really strongly believe your opponent will go for very fast aggression, there's no need to go for a 15. So he looks, he says, okay, you know, Monster not known for being that cheesy of a guy. And this is just one of those things that is just going to end up favoring Vortix by being able to, having seen that ZvZ as the only game that Vortix played in this match so far was a ZVT. So there are a couple of timings that you can abuse. We saw that very big speedling, Baneling attack from Lawversexty in the previous game, but it came a little bit late. He played it a little too economically and got his Baneling Nest late as well. For the most part in this game, we could see a pretty reasonable amount of counterattacking. Both players have opened up so crazy standard that it will and once again most likely end up being that 100 gas Zergling speed, 50 gas Baneling Nest, right on the money. And then as soon as either player can reach a comfortable medium of drones, the natural, trying to get up the lair. The Mutalisks are just so good with their speed and the natural health regeneration right now. It's so damn good. They're trying to nerf ZvZ because Zerg always wins, man. And so we could actually see some nerfs to shift the metagame a little bit farther away from that. But for now, it is largely about Mutalisks dominating mid-game. We've seen a couple of players go for some interesting lair timing. Snoot is a guy that's kind of known for really, really liking roaches in ZvZ, or at least in Wings of Liberty. He's tried to force a couple of things, but those styles really haven't picked up in popularity. It's just too difficult to catch the Mutalisks flying around everywhere, and there's the Zergling speed. And interestingly enough, we have a very fast +1 attack from Vortix and a Roach Warren. And this is actually one of those builds that Vortix is kind of known for. He's pulled it off a couple times before in the Acer TeamStory Cup here. And what this pretty much is you know, once you get +1 attack on the Roaches, you do 18 damage per hit, right? So that's 36 damage. You actually two-shot Zerglings. And this is significant because by being able to do that, it's just so much extra firepower, really. And the Baneling Nest is going up defensively for Nathanias. He's playing this normally, and this is actually a really great timing to abuse because the Baneling's not going to do much against the Roaches. And paying mind to what happened in the previous game, almost loses a drone there. Well, does actually lose a drone, but important things to note: is he not aware of this? And this is such a smart play from Vortix, realizing that Nathanias wants to go for the fast lair. he can abuse this timing with these 10 roaches. All there is one spine crawler. Once Naxio scouts this, once the roaches leave the base, he's immediately going to throw in at least 2 or 3 more spine crawlers. He's trying to use the queen to nudge the overlord away, but he barely gets a glimpse of the roaches. He should know what's coming. And well, I mean, his next overlord is going to see them, so we do have the roaches coming in now, and the best way to defend, he's going to get up another spine crawl. He's going to try to get a lot of zerglings. Banelings can help with getting a little bit of splash damage to slow down the health of, at least lower the overall health of the roaches, which can help with poking them away. The spine crawl does a lot of damage. He's actually going to cancel one of his spines. Very interesting play. Perhaps he's anticipating with just his Zerglings he can beat this, but +1 attack is right about to complete. It's done. These Zerglings will get 2-shotted by the Roaches. If he can get a good engagement here, should be able to do a lot of damage. The Banelings are trying to get in and get a good spread with that AoE damage, but not quite enough. And you know what, the other thing though? Actually, having to spread these Roaches has made these Zerglings so much more effective. They've been able to get full surrounds on these Roaches. A great defense from Naxio. You know, he canceled that spine crawler. He knew damn well what he was doing, and he realized, hey, my Banelings are either going to do a ton of splash to you, or you're going to split your Roaches, and my Zerglings will get this around. 10 more Roaches coming out for Vortix now, and more Banelings on the way for Naxio. He can just run them in, try to pick off the drones individually, and that's exactly what he's doing. The Roach is taking a little bit of fire here, and right now, Vortix, he's the one on the back burner now. He has to get up a ton of Roaches to defend this. The Banelings, you know, if the Zerglings can preoccupy him long enough, he can just run the Banelings, run maybe 6, 7 of them straight into the mineral line. If you can blow up a whole mineral line, this could be game over for Vortix. And here come the Banelings. We have 17 of them. So many Banelings. He's just going to run them straight up, trying to get into the main base. Sees it's walled off, though. And a somewhat solid defense here from Vortix himself. He's actually going to hold this off. Not too badly. The Banelings have not been able to do the amount of damage they need to do. He's going to try to get in here, hold the Roaches in place with the Banes. He still might try to get them into the mineral line, but the Roach is barely blocking him. He doesn't get any kills there. And now, Vortix is the one that's looking really solid. This is such back and forth aggression here. We could see him push out with the Roaches again, but there are more Zerglings prepared for Naxio. He may go for a follow-up attack. He could just try to get more Banelings. He has 18 more Lings, 20 more Lings coming. He is saturated almost on these 2 bases, so he does have this opportunity, but he's keeping a lot of his Lings pocketed at home, possibly just for defense. But Vortix isn't moving out. He's going to get a Baneling nest of his own, and we could see him try to just force the issue here with Ling, Bane, Roach on his own. He doesn't actually have Zergling speed started, though, so this is just going to turn into a Roach-Bane attack. The Zergling's waiting for the Roaches to move out, and now he's going to go for the counterattack. The Roach is going to try to wall off with this Queen. He will be able to do that, but he needs to get a couple more Roaches at home to defend. And this is where things can get a little bit tricky. He's going to pull down now, able to shove these off for the meantime. This Overlord coming in to scout. No lair yet, so he does know that that's not really a threat at the moment. He's not too worried about that. He's going to bring the Roaches home. This big attack coming. A lot of Zerglings for Naxio. He needs to keep this walled. He has Banelings of his own coming in. And, oh my goodness, if these Banelings blow up on these Zerglings, this could be huge. No, he's going to run over here and try to get a big surround. But the Roaches are clumped up enough that with that attack upgrade, they should be able to just cleave through them. No big deal. There's the GG and Vortix. With, you know, his first attack didn't do much at all, but I am genuinely surprised. That was really nice. You know, that really caught me off guard there. That was just some clutch defense, really. There were so many Banelings made there at the end by Naxio. Trying to hold that off with that many, you know, just Roaches walling off like that. The fact that none of those Banelings killed like any drones at all. In fact, I'll even show you guys the graph so you can look at the workers active tab. This was huge. This was so big that Naxio started to make all of these Zerglings and a slight economic lead for Vortix. Didn't lose almost anything at all in that fight. Really great play from our Karont3 esports Zerg player. And well, that's going to bring the score actually to all right. Look at me, silly me, forgetting to update the score here. It is a 4-3 now. So if Vortix wins this next game, it's going to be an ace. We're going to have an ace match in this this best of 9. So, well, guys, we'll have to see who MVP is going to send out next. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Acer TeamStory Cup. I am Nathanias. Thanks for staying tuned.